Greetings and welcome back to room 303 in our chats with Emily, as we are calling our readings through all of the poems of the Johnson edition of Emily Dickinson's poetry. We turn now to a little poem number 68, Ambition Cannot Find Him. Another tribute poem, but not clear to who. And a number of readers of Emily's poetry have pointed this out, that one of the cool things is that she often doesn't assign a poem specifically to an individual, allowing us to be able to read the poem on a whole bunch of different levels, and I find that always fascinating. Now, our assumptions are that you've been following our stuff at learnstrong.net. Down that left-hand side, Chats with Emily is our playlist. I'm hopeful that you have been able to follow our introductory set of comments as well as the previous 67 titles. We just finished with Success is Counted Sweetest. We're going to be thinking about success in this poem. We're going to hear about ambition. We're going to hear as well about this idea of fame and affection and love and all of that will be playing here. This is going to be another one of Emily's poems that deals with death, by extension, of course, the theodicy question, the last of our big five. And we're going to get one of the great phrases in all of Emily's poetry. I mean, it's one I love, Leagues of Nowhere. It's one of my favorite lines in all of Emily's stuff, so let's enjoy it. Passage 68. By the way, ambition, believe it or not, this amazing poet will only use the word ambition one time in this entire collection, and it's right here. So it's going to make us sit up and pay attention, I hope. Ambition cannot find him. Affection doesn't know how many leagues of nowhere lie between them now. Yesterday, undistinguished. Imminent today for our mutual honor. Immortality. Now, I love that Emily can do so much with so little. I mean, she is the poet of all poets that can prove this to us. Notice the way in which our lives seem to kind of move between two polar points. Ambition and affection. The desire. And guys, I've said this to you already. I'll say it again. I think a whole lot of Emily's stuff has Keats, John Keats, standing behind it. I think she was always kind of playing similar types of games as Keats. You'll remember that in his classic, When I Have Fears That I May Cease to Be, he will say at the conclusion of that poem that on the shore of the wide world I stand alone and think, till love and fame to nothingness do sink. Instead of love and fame here, it will be ambition and affection. By the way, when we get to poem 790, we'll come to the end of that poem with this set of lines, with this thought. With infinite affection and infiniter care, her golden finger on her lip will silence everywhere. This idea of affection, that's that one, we'll come back to that word when we hit poem 790. So notice, we got ambition cannot find him, affection doesn't know how many leagues of nowhere lie between them now. Can I point out that leagues of nowhere is an amazing phrase to kind of set the poetry of Emily Dickinson, because it seems to me that she is always dancing between these two polar concerns of ambition and affection. And there are leagues of nowhere. We're going to hear in another poem at poem 70 about the use of her word perhaps. And in poem 696, she'll call it acres of perhaps. And I think leagues of nowhere is a similar kind of phrase. Now, who she's saying this about, we don't know, but notice her use of, and my Emily group pointed this out to me, which I love, her Trinitarian use of time. Notice, yesterday, she'll say about this individual, undistinguished. She could be thinking of herself, obviously. Imminent today, for our mutual honor, right? That is to say, immortality. So, the use of this word honor, I think, is central as well, because it tells us that Emily herself is identifying in some way with this individual who yesterday was unknown. Today, because of his passing, is imminent. But it's all about the question of afterlife. And immortality, and of course the way that we remember artists or any other number of people. I think at 2a what we're saying here is that we're all somehow tied together through death and of course immortality. At 2b, I love her word choice of ambition, the only time it's used. I love this trinity of time. At 3a, I mentioned Keats is when I have fears that I may cease to be. I've given a full lecture on this at learnstrong.net. But again, that notion of I don't care about fame and I don't care about love. All of that means nothing to me. Of course, we know that on both counts. Yeah, he was not accurate, right? I mean, the night before Keats dies, he's working on Bright Star, that famous poem about what his girl, and then obviously he asked that the words be placed on his tombstone. Here lies one whose name was written in water. Clearly, fame or ambition was a part of his life as well. Finally, at 3b, how do you balance these ideas of ambition and affection? Where ambition is the thing that we long for, and affection is the thing that we know and we love. I'm hopeful that Emily is challenging you to think. Thank you.